four sites here, four subnets, and then we're going to add those servers. So the way we can do it, you need to log into Active Directory sites and services. Now, people can do it randomly, create subnets for sites and then sites links, but the proper way to do it, uh, that first create sites that you need. So we already know we need to create three sites. First of all, for the first headquarters site, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this. So rename this to Toronto. So this is renamed. And now I already see that there are two servers in Toronto. I'll leave it as is. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two more sites here. Three more. So first one, site number one, and sites, and then its name is Montreal, and by default all will be linked to default site link. So later on, once we create, and guys, keep an eye on this. When you create your first site, here it guides you. This information is guiding you. You know what it's saying? It's saying you created a Montreal site. Right after that, you should create a subnet. You should create a subnet, and after that, move your DC into this. So this screen is actually guiding you what you should do after creating a site. So here we just press OK. I have site 1, and then likewise I'm going to create the second site, which is London, um, and then I'm going to create the third site, which is false, and link it to default site link. So I have four sites created now. And the second thing, in subnets, I have nothing. So first of all, I'm going to create a first subnet here, and first subnet. For subnets, all you need to do is right click on subnet and say new subnet. And when you do a new subnet, here guys, it needs to be a full subnet. So here you can say 192.168 dot 100 dot 0 slash 24. So this is the right way of writing the subnet, and now you should know that which site it should be part of. So this should be part of Toronto based on our diagram. It should be part of Toronto. So Toronto site has this subnet. And then next one, likewise, I'm going to create three more subnets here, 192.168.101.0 slash 24. And this is for 101 is Montreal. Okay. So you need to, yes, you need to write the complete. And two is quals. So you need to write the complete subnet with cider value. So maybe you have not linked it to a site. So you need to create four subnets and four sites now. Now guys, it is very important to know what's your real subnet of this server. So for that reason, I came out to a server manager, and within server manager, I need to know my IP addressing on this server. So my IP addressing on this server is 200. So my subnets should be part of this network. And your subnet, if you're using a different subnet, your subnet part of this. So I'm going to change all these subnets to based on my subnet here. So it is very important for the reason why, because otherwise replication won't work. So here I'm going to change them to 200 because my subnet is 200. So yours are fine. I need to change it. So then it's fine for you. If for me, since it is 200, I'm going to just make subnets of 200. No, fourth stage is creating site links. We haven't created site links yet. Three, I'm doing the third one. I'm creating subnets now. So here, now guys, the next part is to verifying right subnet with right site. Next part is verify right subnet. Now here in our diagram it shows that Toronto should be linked to 100 and then Montreal should be linked to 101 and then London should be linked to 103. So how do you verify? Just right click properties on each site and go to properties, and within property it should be linked to the exact site subnet that you have. So we verify on each and every step here. And then again on Montreal, you would go and see that if it is linked to Montreal is linked to 1, Montreal is linked to 1. Now the next is to create site links. Guys, site links are created based on transport. And how many types of transport is available here? Two types of transport. There is IP transport, there is SMTP transport. In IP transport, you would go and you see that there is only one default site link. What we're going to do, we're going to create a new site link here. So, so right click on this and create a new site link. So the first site link that I'm going to create, let's see, Toronto and Montreal. Let's create Toronto, Montreal. Guys, we can change that as well. We can change that as well. So first of all, let's see. So go into the properties of first one. So I'm going to create a site link now, which is point number 4 on the board. I'm following point number 4 on the board. Yes, new site link. Mushtaq, what part are you on? You're creating subnet mask? Okay, you're already creating a subnet mask. So guys, next one, I'm creating a site link, and in site link, what we need to do, just go into IP and create a new site link. And guys, just look at the screen for a moment, and let's see how to create a site link. There is a little technicality here, and the first one I'm gonna start from right here. I'm gonna create more Toronto and Montreal. So then I'm gonna add both sides. Everyone, it is. So first one is Toronto dash Montreal, and then just select Toronto and Montreal and put them here. So this is how you create one link. Control, yes, control. And then we're going to create a second site link, which is Montreal and Guelph. So right here, now I'm going to create this site link. So here we're going to create Montreal dash Montreal dash Guelph. On here, select Montreal and Guelph. So with control, keep pressing control, you can select multiple. So once you select, so here Montreal and Guelph is done. Now Guelph and London, I need to create another one. Guelph and London. It can work as well. Both it can work. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But yes, it can work both ways. So I have London and Guelph, and then last one I'm gonna create Toronto, London. Either you can use default one or you can create a new one. It's up to you. I'm gonna rename the default one for this. So default one, I'm gonna rename it to Toronto, London. Toronto, London. And within this, I'm gonna go remove golf from here, Toronto and London. And now I have these basic links in place. All links are cost with 100. All links are 100 cost. And here I have links, and I have to create two additional links. Yes. So this is to link them. This is to link them. Okay. Okay. Huh? Okay, hold on. So first of all, cancel this. Cancel this. Now, now look at this. Look at this here. For example, in your case, you're going to create the first site link. Okay. So Naveed, just look at it. First of all, select which link you're creating. You're creating a link between Toronto and Montreal. Okay. So for that, all you need to do, you need to right click on a site link. Now look carefully. Look carefully first. Here. So first write Toronto. Let's say Toronto. Uh-huh. Toronto dash Montreal. Now, how would you know that this link is? So this is just the name. And in order to create a link, you would select Toronto here and Montreal. Now, this link is only between these two. That's why we are moving objects. If you move all four of them here, then you would say that this link is for all of them. So it's a redundant link between all of them, which shouldn't be the case, which is it should be. So this is why we move machines from here to here. So it just shows that this link is only for these two. Yes. So Toronto to London, all you need to do remove Montreal and add London here. Exactly, exactly. Yes, we can do multiple lengths. Yes. So you're done? Okay. So okay, excellent. So we're gonna do two more, which is Toronto to Golf. So I'm gonna create Toronto Golf link, which is guys. Now here we are going into redundant links, and then later on we're gonna set up the cost as well. So we're gonna create Toronto Golf, and then Golf and Toronto. Done. And then another link here, which is London Montreal. Oh yes, we can create three of them as well. Yes, we can. So when you do, yes, when you do three of them together, now you are actually thinking for Active Directory. Otherwise, Active Directory has to think which route to go. But if you give them three at a time, it doesn't have to think. It would just take that route and go there. Yes, but sometimes, yes, yes, sometimes you have a cheaper link, sometimes you have expensive link. Sometimes you're saying, you know what, this type of traffic needs a very fast link. So for that, you would give them a preferred link. Now, guys, let's set up the cost. Now, the cost is there, default, but we need to set up this cost. So we need to set up this cost, guys. But guys, before setting up the cost, everyone, let's verify the links between these sites. So guys, verify links between these sites. How do you verify? First of all, go to Montreal site and go to properties. And within properties, if you go there, it is showing you that this is the subnet for this. And if you go inside, hold on. Let me check. So here you have a server Montreal. Yeah, it is from the same screen actually. It is from the same screen. It is just showing you that which subnet is for this site. Yes. So here is my point, guys. My point here is once you make all these three things. So we have created a site. We created a subnet. We created a site link. Now we need to verify if this all is correct according to our diagram. How do you know? First of all, I would go on to Montreal and see, okay, my IP address is 201 here. And this 201 is linked to which site link? 201 is linked to which site link? So 201, my site is telling me that this is linked to this, and my site link is telling me, my site link is translating which site link is between which site. guys, when you make these site links, you need to carefully document them and then verify just by cross-checking that if this is according to this. For now, whatever we have made, it is according to this. The only thing we need to do is to change the cost. So let's do the cost for Toronto and Montreal. So we'll open Toronto, Montreal in sites, site links. So Toronto, Montreal, which is this one. And here I'll go and change the cost to 50. And then next one, we're going to change the cost for Montreal and Guelph. So Montreal and Guelph, change the cost to 50. And then from Guelph to London, just right click property or double click on it. Just double click on site link. And then cost from Toronto and London. Toronto, London. Just double click on this and then you would see the cost. Cost is changed. Now, now from Toronto and Guelph is 5. Toronto Guelph is just number 5, which will add an extra 5 to this cost if they ever need to go there. No. So in this case, it should be 105. Yes. Huh? So you first of all you need to be in IP, in site links, IP and site links, and then I need between London and Montreal. London, Montreal is 105. So now this is your site links and cost should look like this. It should look like this. No, this is all fine. Yes. You didn't rename it. I renamed it. If you're not using it, if you are already have all, you can delete this. Yes. So now it should look like this, guys. Now the next thing here, now the next thing here, now let's see. Now you have made everything, guys. Now you need to move required DCs in the required sites. So first of all, let's create servers. So let's create servers here. So just create, so under server in Toronto, let's create a server object. So I'm going to create a server object. Let's see, DC1. I'm going to create all these server objects here. Now, in reality, you would install a DC that would automatically appear here. Here, we are just doing it for practice. So DC2, so just on server, right click and new server, and here DC3, and you're creating DC4, DC5. So, yes. So, so now, in order to move it to the required size, so DC3 goes in London. So all you need to do is move, just drag DC3 to London. So you would drag it, it is moved, and then DC4 goes in Montreal. Just select DC. Yes, DC4 goes in Montreal, and DC5 goes in Guelph. So now I have all required DC in required places. So this is how all your sites should look like. And you have DCs in the required places. So this exercise, guys. If you get some time, delete everything at home and redo it again one more time. So yes, Toronto has your original DC already. Yes, this is what we're just doing for example. Your attention. I need your attention. We need to understand this diagram. We need to understand this diagram. So it's so easy, right? Okay. So now let's understand it in a little bit more detail. Yes, we did create 5 DCs. Okay. Okay, guys. Now let's understand. Hmm? Okay, guys. Here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, guys. We created sites, we created subnets, we created site links, we created subnets, and right after this, number four, we verified